There exists a game with an economy so big it makes actual countries look small. Tens of thousands of players exchange trillions of coins every day, and if you convert those coins to USD, the economy is worth hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Oh, and it's all inside of Minecraft. Minecraft? You mean that game made up entirely of squares? Yep. See, back in 2011, shortly after its launch, multiplayer servers started popping up everywhere. And by 2013, this was pretty much the only reason people played the game. That's where we saw the rise of incredible minigames like survival games, parkour, and Counter-Strike. No, seriously, I remember spending hours grinding Mineplex's CSGO copy as a kid, primarily because my Mac Mini at the time couldn't actually run CS, but it was the best I could find and it was actually super fun. This is often seen as the golden age of Minecraft. Popular servers like The Hive, It's Jerry and Harry, and Hypixel started up, and Minecraft parodies were everywhere.
Creeper, oh man.
I'll make a cake.
Around the same time, a player named Noob Crew created the now iconic game mode, Skyblock. Skyblock is a map where you'd spawn on a desolate L-shaped island floating in the air, which had a tree on it, a bunch of dirt, and a chest with a few helpful resources. This game mode was wildly popular, being downloaded millions of times since its release, and being the basis for several games of the same name, including Hypixel's Skyblock, which happens to be the very game with an economy larger than several real countries. But how? I just told you that you spawn on a desolate island with limited resources. Where's the economic aspect? Well, the Hypixel Skyblock didn't stay 100% true to the namesake. So much so that when it released in 2019, people were confused. I mean, don't get me wrong. You spawn on a floating island with a tree on it, and there's another island with a chest on it, but it also has a portal to a place with infinite resources, and every single person's island has a minion that produces resources infinitely, and also to properly beat the game, you have to spend hundreds of real hours underground.
But besides that, classic Skyblock.
But the game's creative connection of fantasy, MMORPG game design, and the things that make Minecraft iconic got hundreds of thousands of players hooked. I mean, it helps to have released a game right before almost everybody was trapped inside with nothing more to do than watch YouTube and play video games, but sure, we can just call it the game design. Included in said game design was an auction house where you could buy and sell items. Not at a set price though, that came later. The system that the game initially had was a bidding only system, which meant you could really just either list it at a good price and risk no one buying it, or list it at a low price and risk someone getting a hell of a deal off of you. It wasn't a great system, considering it was the only way to exchange currency between players. But that all changed with the Bazaar and bin systems. And oh boy, were these systems helpful. The Bazaar works like a stock market, which means that if I explain how it actually works, half the people watching are gonna leave. So I'll give you a quick rundown, but won't harp on it too long. Essentially, there are two ways to buy and two ways to sell. You can buy instantly, paying a higher price, or set a buy order, where you pay a lower price and it gets filled over time. Or you can sell instantly, getting fewer coins, or create a sell order where people actually have to buy them, but you get more coins. So that's the Bazaar. And then the bin is just buy it now portion of the auction house, where you can list an item for a set price and anyone can buy it. These two additions made it so that the in-game currency, coins, can be exchanged at any time instantly. But wait, before you can actually understand the scale of what I'm going to be talking about, you need to understand how economies are measured. Gross domestic product, or GDP, is often used to measure the economic activity of a country or a region. Now, there are several ways to solve for a GDP, but considering that Skyblock is lacking a bunch of real-world economic factors like government spending, for example, we're just going to focus on the most direct method, known as the production approach, which is where you take the sum of all the different money exchanged to see the overall value of an economy. But yikes, I hear you ask. How the flip are you going to find out the total value of the Hypixel Skyblock economy? You know, that's a great question. I'm gonna make a call. Okay, he's probably busy. Let me send him a message. All right, while we wait, I'm gonna go get some food. Hey, arch nemesis. Yo, I thought you were in that closet. Well, I didn't want you to lock it again. I mean, alright, you know what? Never mind. Just, could you tell them about Factor while I go eat? Will do. Great. Thanks. Okay, I guess I'm handling this then. Hello, I'm MC Yikes, and Factor is incredible. The meals are convenient and affordable, but not simple. They're packed with flavor. Every meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready in 2 minutes or less. And the meals can be catered to exactly what you need. If you need high protein, they got you. Low carb, they got you there. And if that sounds good to you like it does to me and my frenemy, I think that's the term, frenemy, yikes, then you should definitely check out factor.yikesmc.com to get 50% off your first box and free breakfast for a full year. That's factor.yikesmc.com for free breakfast for 1 year and 50% off your first box. I actually hear him on the way back, so I'm gonna go back into hiding. After I finished eating, I noticed that I got a response that I didn't understand.
What?
Okay, so after hundreds of Google searches, I got 3 Python scripts written to help me get info on different parts of the economy. Now, like he said, you can't get an exact figure, but here's what I did to simulate it. For Bazaar, you can actually get the total volume of coins exchanged in a week. So then all I had to do was just multiply that by 52, and I got a yearly estimate. Simple enough. I ran this once and got the numbers that are currently on screen. To be safe, I ran the same script 5 days later and got these figures, and then I averaged them out. And after averaging them out, this is what I got. Since the Bazaar is responsible for most of the currency exchange, this number alone gives us a really good estimate to the total size of the economy. Now, there's a lot we can do with this number. We could convert it into USD to see the real world economic strength. We could find out what percentage of the economy any given player is worth, or we can figure out how much in taxes Skyblock players pay every single year. Taxes? In Minecraft? Yup. See, every time you buy or sell on the Bazaar or the auction house, a small percentage is taken away as tax. And now, normally, I'm a fan of taxation. Everyone chipping in so that their communities can have better transit, healthcare, education, and other social safety net. But after looking all over the place, Hypixel Skyblock has 0 social programs. So since they're absolutely pointless, surely the community hasn't spent that much in taxes, right? Right? Oh shit. Look, all I'm saying is that's a lot of taxation considering the very little representation players get, which means that, if my math is right, it's time for a revolution. Who's with me? Oh, yeah, it's cool. I didn't even want to anyways. Anyways, let's just convert the coins to USD to see the economy's real world size, I guess. But how's that possible? The game's economy is completely separated from the real world economy, right? Wrong. In late 2020, Skyblock added gems, which are essentially a currency that you have to spend real money on, which you can then use to buy cosmetic items or booster cookies, which happen to be an item that literally everyone needs. But it's okay, because you can sell or buy these booster cookies and cosmetics to other players for coins, which means both you don't actually have to spend real money, and also you can spend real money to get coins. And since booster cookies stand to be an item that pretty much every player needs, it's a pretty consistent metric for USD to coin conversion. So, as of filming this, $1 USD will get you about 4.3 million coins. If we divide the yearly average by this 4.3 million coin number, we get this. The Skyblock GDP is currently worth $225 million, placing it above 2 real countries and not too far off from the 3rd. But I haven't even counted auction house and bin, which, if that number's high enough, could push Skyblock to having a higher GDP than 3 real countries. So this one was much more tricky than the Bazaar, but I found a pretty nifty way to estimate it. Basically, all I did was I had a bot scan hourly to see how many coins were waiting to be collected from auctions. That way you can kind of assume that they've been collected and exchanged, and honestly it's not a great metric, but it's the best I could do. So I took those numbers, averaged them out, and got an hourly rate, which we can then multiply by 24 for 1 day, and multiply that by 365 for 1 year. But I lost those numbers. I ran the bot for several days, and I lost those numbers. Great work, me. So, here are the numbers from running it for 3 hours. It's the best we could do. And now, if we convert that into USD, it adds just about $210,128. Well, shit.